Liz Peek. I was sitting here with my mouth hanging open. You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't. No, the American people haven't known what you're talking about since, well, for the last 4 years.
I thought that was the best moment of that conversation. I thought it was hilarious and good for Brett because nobody knew what she was talking about. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so why is it that after decades in the public eye, Kamala Harris is so bad at this? I mean, I think people really need to think about, it's not, she keeps saying, well, it's only 70 days that I've been in this campaign. It's been years and years that she was a senator and she was a DA, et cetera. So I think it's because she's trying to be something she's not. She's pretending to be a moderate politician, and she clearly is not. It was only 5 years ago, not when she was in college, that she adopted a lot of very far-left policies like Medicare for All, the Green New Deal, et cetera. And picking Tim Walz just sort of confirms that she really has a very left-wing progressive bent. She was the most liberal senator. He's probably the most liberal governor of any state in the union. So I think, I think that is a huge problem. I also think she is not at all confident that she deserves to be where she is. Let's face it, she is the VP because Joe Biden promised to have a woman of color on his ticket. And she is the candidate because Joe Biden was dumped at the last minute and Democrats didn't have any chance to find a replacement or a better candidate. So if I were Kamala Harris, I would be insecure. And I think that's what this big laugh is all about, her inability to articulate. I mean, it's pretty astonishing, really.
But listen, I think she is a talented woman in that if she wanted to articulate her message on her radical leftist policies, she can totally do it. Like she can actually put sentences together with meaning. I think what she's doing here, Liz, is she's trying to dupe the American people. To your point, I want them to think I'm a moderate, but really I'm a radical leftist, and I can't really tell them that.
That's
right.
So
I'm going to dance around these questions and not answer them, and maybe the American voter will buy that. And they're going to get something really shockingly different than what she said on the campaign trail should she be elected.
And I totally agree with that. But by the way, we've seen this act before. Joe Biden ran as a moderate Democrat. And then the next thing you knew, he had done a deal with Bernie Sanders to make sure that Bernie Sanders followers were going to come out and vote for him. And he basically adopted his platform. So he has been anything but a moderate Democrat. I think Kamala Harris, when she says she wouldn't change anything, that's why. Perfect segue.
And by the way, all of these liberal women trying to say that how dare you interrupt her because she's a woman. Let me just say, if you want to stand up for your gender, Kamala Harris, show up on time.
Well, show up on time and answer a question. He only was interrupting her or talking over her because she basically was filibustering. She hoped to get through this without saying anything.
But
and she
show up on time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And give the American people the time that they're due. I want to move on to California, another California liberal. I almost said it wasn't a dirty word. It was just not kind. Phillips 66 has notified California and really Gavin Newsom that it is closing its refinery in Los Angeles next year. This is because Gavin Newsom, in addition to suing the oil companies, has introduced new regulation on the state's refiners. California right now has the highest gasoline prices in the entire nation, not the continental United States, higher than even Hawaii right now. This will doom people who have to drive to work anywhere in Southern California. This is a disaster. Own it, Gav. Own it.
But he is following Kamala Harris's lead. What he is saying to voters in California is, I'm going to crack down on these companies so they're not price gouging. I'm going to make sure we don't have any spikes in pricing, which they have had, like every industry, or I should say like every state with gasoline prices. When the oil price goes up, gasoline follows, and then it goes down again. But he wants to control these prices. He's even talking about, this hasn't happened yet, putting a cap on refiners' profits. So basically, this is what Kamala wants to do nationwide with grocers and food companies and companies of that sort. It doesn't work because let's just, for a moment, say, look at economics. If you restrict the supply of gasoline in California, what's going to happen? The price isn't going to go down. The price is going to go up. And so it's a completely boneheaded policy.
That's what the voters want. They voted for these policies, and if I was out other refiners in California, get out, leave.
Yeah,
and,
Sean,
and force this on California. Let's look at what clean energy looks like in one state. See how it goes. By the way, Nevada and Arizona don't sell them any oil. See how it goes, California. Oh, that'd be a great test case.
And it gets worse. So in 8 years, there will be no gasoline cars sold in California. So they think that they're all set. They currently import about a quarter to 1/3 of the electricity that they need. This is before the mandate that everybody has to buy an electric car.
Yes. And they have periodic brownouts. This is, look, this is Gavin Newsom trying to get in front of the public again, because he has been sidelined by the Democratic Party. He wasn't at the convention. He wasn't the speaker at the convention. All of a sudden, he has completely disappeared for the chatter of sort of Democratic leadership. And I think this is his way to kind of say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still a radical leftist. I want to get rid of fossil fuels. But there are, by the way, 31 million people who have cars in California that are gas-powered. So this is a really bad thing.
If you want to be president, and he wants to be president,
this
is a really bad way to get in front of the American people.
I agree. I agree with you.
I don't want him to win, but don't do it, Gabs. Liz Peek, always great to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Still to come,